Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Shanice Jones, and welcome to a brand new episode of Your Millionaire Friend. Today, we're going to dive into a new topic, and it's a little bittersweet for me today, personally, but I know that for everyone that's listening, it might help someone, either yourself or someone that you know. All right? So, today's episode is titled Friendship, Boundaries, and Boss Moves. Yes, yes. Now, why is this bittersweet? Well, if you're like me, then you love to see your friends win, right? You love your friends and you want to see everyone win. You want to see everyone elevate, grow, and succeed. You want to look around your circle one day and be like, we made it. We all made it, right? At least that's how I look at it. I like to be able to look around my circle and be like, yes, yes, yes. But the truth is, not everyone wants that. And that's okay. That's okay. We have to be okay with what someone else may want for their life, right? Not everyone is willing to put in the work, make the sacrifices, because sometimes that can be really great, and even walk the same path that you're walking. And when you realize that sometimes it can hurt, right? But you have to understand that you cannot control everything someone else does in their life. So, I remember hearing Michelle Obama say in an interview when asked how does she and President Obama handle a friendship while they were climbing to new heights, because they came from humble beginnings. So her response was so powerful that it has stayed with me for a very long time. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, so don't hold me to each and every word that she said, okay? And she said, we took the people who were ready with us and we kept moving forward. Once we were successful, we reached back to help the ones that were ready at that time. But some people, unfortunately, had to be left behind. And I know leaving people behind must have hurt them. Now, listen, I'm no Michelle Obama, but I am Shanice Jones. So I know exactly what I am building. And just like her, I've had to face the reality that not everyone in my life is ready to come with me. And you may be facing the same thing, right? Now, instead of being angry, frustrated, or just cutting everyone off cold turkey, I've learned to put people into boxes. Now, I'm going to try my best not to let this come off as mean or, I'll try my best. Just leave it as I'll try my best to explain what I mean by I put people into boxes. And that's what we're going to dive into today. All right. I want us to dive into how we're going to handle friendship, boundaries, and boss moves. So let's start with the reality of growing apart. Now, as you start building, growing, and changing your life, you might feel tensions in some of your old or current relationships, right? Some of your friends may be comfortable with where they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is okay, right? Some may resist growth because it forces them to face their own choices that they're currently making or choices that they have to make. But here's the truth. Every level requires a new upgraded version of you. If you're going to grow, if you want to be better each and every day, every level of success requires a new upgraded version of you. For example, the Shanice Jones I was in high school, some of you know me from high school. I am not that same person today. Now, they might be some parts of me that are the same, but it is night and day. If there's one thing I want to be like in high school, it's the same size. That's probably it. Right? I want to be a size 0 to 2 and eat whatever I want. But that's not me. All right? The person I was at 21-year-old, or I should say my early 20s, is not the person I am now. Because if you knew me in my early 20s, you would know that my mouth did not have much of a filter at that point. I think my filter didn't grow in at that point. It didn't grow on me at that point, right? Now, if you knew me in my late 20s, that was also a different version of me because at that moment I had my kids and life was so different because whew, I had went through so much bringing them into this world that I had a whole new outlook on life. If you met me in my early 30s where I am working on my business and building different versions of me, and each version has been an upgrade to the last, right? So I'll say it again. Every level of success requires a new upgraded version of you. And that version may not always fit into old friendship dynamics, right? So hear me clearly. Outgrowing someone does not mean you stop loving them. I can still love you. I can still be like, hey, look at that. Amazing. Great. I can still feel for you, be grateful for you, happy for you, all these things. But it does not have to fit into our friendship dynamics, right? So it just means sometimes that our paths are simply different, right? One of the hardest lessons I've had to learn is that you can love someone and still know they cannot walk with you in the new season. Right? You can love someone, you can care for them, they can be awesome, but you just know that the next season of your life that you're building and that's unfolding, that this person or these people cannot necessarily walk with you as you move forward. And it's not that you're being haughty or anything like that. It's just that dead weight holds you back. You need people that are going to be pushing with you, working with you, helping you in some way, shape, or form. All right? So let me give you like a practical example. And I think I just touched on it a few moments ago, but let me give you again. Think about high school, right? Back then, you may have a best friend and you talked every single day. Now, after graduation, you all went to college, you started working, moved to new cities, and suddenly that friendship might not fit into your daily life the same way. Does that mean that the love is gone? Does that mean that you no longer want to talk to the person, be next to the person? No, it just means that you are in different seasons. They may be doing one thing and you're doing something completely different, right? And the same thing happens in adulthood, only now the stakes are higher because your goals are bigger. And that is okay. Now, let me talk about these boxes that I spoke about earlier. So how I personally deal with this type of tension, I put people into boxes. And here's what I mean. If I need advice on being a wife, I have a box of friends or a box with friends in it that are wives, that are having really healthy marriages, right? If I need business advice, I go to the box of business minded people, a box of bosses and entrepreneurs. That's who I go to. If I want guide on parenting, because oh my God, especially this boy I got, whew, he wears me thin. If I need guide and advice on parenting, I go to the box of mothers and fathers who have walked that road. Okay? And I think that's fair. That way, it keeps me from expecting things from people that they simply cannot give. It also keeps me from being disappointed when someone isn't able to pour into me the way I need at that moment. If I'm asking my single friends about marriage advice and they're like completely off topic, I might be disappointed, right? So I might as well go to the place that can give me the best advice based on their experience, right? So this approach has told me that every friend does not fit into every box. One friend might be amazing for laughs and good time because I have a box where the friends in there, they're great for sharing TikTok videos and things for making me laugh. So at the end of a hard day, those are the people that just gets rid of some of the stress that I have because that's what they're great at. They're great at sending me links that I can laugh about, right? But they might not be the one that I want to speak to if I have an investment. Now, another friend might be amazing in business conversation, but not the one to call if I need relationship advice, obviously. So when you organize your friendship this way, you release the pressure from both sides, from both yourself and on them. You allow people to exist in your life without resenting them for not being who you want them to be. Right? Understand? Okay, I hope I'm making sense. Now, here's another tip though. Very important. Do not tell people which box they are in. Keep that to yourself. And even for me, if I'm in one of your boxes, don't tell me which box I'm in. Do not tell me. That is between you and your boxes. That is personal. All right? Because I'm not going to tell you which box you fit in anyway. All right? So let's now talk about boundaries without guilt, I hope. Right? Boundaries can be a tough one, especially if you're a natural giver or a nurturer like me. Boundaries, I don't look at it as walls to shut people out, but they're a gate to protect my peace, my purpose, and my progress. And they should be for you too. It should be able to be in place to protect you. Now, understanding that setting boundaries does not mean that you don't love someone. It means that you just love yourself enough not to compromise whatever your mission is, right? So here are some practical boundary setting tips that you can use. Now, if you have a friend that wants to vent, but never have space to actually listen, you might say, listen, I love you, but I don't have the capacity for this conversation right now. Just don't do like me. Just don't go just blank. Sometimes that happens to me. My brain just shuts down and I just don't respond. And that is really bad. I'm working on it, but my brain sometimes just, you can be better than me and say, I just don't have the capacity for this conversation right now. Okay? I'm working on saying that. Now, if someone keeps pulling you into drama, you can say, I'm focused on positive energy right now and I can't engage in this. Now, I have another way that I do that is I would send them pictures of books that I'm reading. Like, if they send me something negative, here, I am reading The Secret. Here, I am reading about, the Bible. Here, I'm reading this. I'm reading positive things. And most people are able to, read between the lines. Like, listen, I don't have time for this. I am just feeding my mind at this point. I cannot engage in this. Now, sometimes the strongest boundary is silence. As I said, my brain automatically goes to silence, right? But sometimes, you need a little bit more. So you would, say something. But just understand that even if you don't say anything, no can be a full sentence. That's it. No. Not at this time. That's it. The end. You don't necessarily owe someone a explanation. All right? So here's the key. Boundaries, however, has to be consistent because if you are continuously accepting the negative conversation and then the one day you don't accept it, okay, they'll feel like maybe you're just off today. But guess what? The next day they'll continue and the next day they'll continue, right? If you bend them every time, if you bend your boundaries, that is, every time, people will test you every time, right? Learn to protect your energy because energy is, at least for me, the currency of growth, right? Now, sometimes, no matter how many boxes you create or how many boundaries you set, you have to let a friendship go. You have to let an entire box go. I've had boxes that just didn't fit for me anymore. This is not a box that I want to deal, and especially the negative box. If this is the box where you're going to always send me bad news each and every single day, that box has to go, right? If it's bad news or bad energy all day long, you got to go, right? Now, how do you know when it's time? You're going to see some signs. And one of them for me is that I felt consistently drained instead of energized. You speak to someone and you just feel drained all the time. Or you speak to someone about your hopes or your dreams or your goals and they kind of minimize or mock it. It's like, oh, girl, please, you from Guyana, your accent isn't gonna work for this. Oh, really? Block, right? Or they guilt trip you into changing. If you told them that, so there's one thing that if people say to me, I usually back off from them, and little by little you get a block, delete, unfollow. I sincerely dislike when people tell me, "Oh, I think you got rich and switch." Well, yeah, okay, I'll take that from your mouth to God's ears. It is what it is. I'll take the rich part, but guess what? I'm going to switch right now by blocking you. Okay? Because everything that I have worked hard for. So for someone to just, think that it's a joke, it's not. So that's one of the things. Now, you might find yourself shrinking your light just to make them comfortable. That's a time to remove that box from your life. Okay? Letting go doesn't mean, again, that you stop caring about these people in the box. It just means you stop carrying them, right? You stop carrying those feelings that are associated with them. So, I had to make this decision with people I love dearly, and it wasn't easy, but every time I released that dead weight, I found myself moving faster and lighter towards my goal, and it opens up the door for new people to come in, people who actually mean well for me. It's like God says, okay, you dropped out, watch this, watch what I'm gonna give you. And I appreciate that so much. So sometimes you have to let go. Okay? Because sometimes God won't let you elevate until you drop what's holding you down. Now, here's some good news. When you let go of the wrong people, as I said, you make room for the right ones. You make space. I believe that success is not a solo sport. You need a team. You need a table of people working towards the same goals. You need accountability partners, mentors, coaches, like-minded friends who are always chasing greatness, right? Because if you're in a group of people that are do-nothings, then you're going to become one of the do-nothings, okay? Now, here's some ways you can find your circles. Network. Now, I am trying to come out of my house and my comfort zone and network a bit more. So I am working on this as well. It's hard for me to just leave my kids and go out and network, but I'm working on it. So network with intentions, right? Don't just go to social events, go to conferences, masterclass, seminars where people are serious about growth. All of you that are in the room are usually working towards the same thing. Seeking mentorship. Find people who are ahead of you in business or in faith and in family life and try to learn from them. See how they move, how they speak, how they attack a problem. You're going to learn a lot. And then also be the friend you want. If you want loyalty, supportive, growth-minded people around you, then you have to show up that way. Like I have a few friends that I speak to on the daily, and they encourage me. I have this one friend, she always has a challenge that we need to start and need to do. And me as a Leo, I can't say no to challenges, so I always say yes. And the great thing is that it builds me up. It makes me stronger. It makes me consistent in doing things that I've been slacking on, right? Now, let's be honest. If you look around your circle and you're the smartest one or the most successful one, that's a sign. It's time to step into a new room where you can be stretched a little bit. You're forced to think. That's going to help you in your business. Now, as I wrap this episode up, I want you to do something this week. Sit down with a pen and paper and create your boxes. Write down who belongs in each one, then ask yourself which boxes are missing. Which boxes are overflowing with people who don't serve me anymore? Right? Which box needs stronger boundaries? There's some boxes that are always going to take, and they have nothing to give. Those are boxes that you might need to put boundaries on. And be honest. Remember Michelle Obama's words, take the people who are ready and keep moving forward. Once you've reached a certain level, you can reach back for those who are ready later. But until then, your responsibilities, your vision, your calling, and your future. All right? So here's my encouragement to you. Don't feel guilty for growing. Don't feel guilty for outgrowing. Don't feel guilty for protecting your boundaries. Love people, bless them, but keep building. Because the world needs whatever it is that you are creating, right? And with that, I want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Your Millionaire Friend. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it. And remember, protect your circle, protect your peace, protect everything that's meant for you. You're working hard. I truly believe that you're working hard, and everything that's meant for you will be yours with the right people around you. Again, I'm your host, Shanice Jones, and thank you very much for tuning in to Your Millionaire Friend. Love you guys. Bye.